Football Manager database has nearly 500,000 players in it. We've built the worst 11 possible from those 500,000 players. A disclaimer here that they are all definitely still way better than me and probably way better than you as well, but in terms of the Football Manager database, they are the worst players in it at their position.
I can't stress enough how cool it would be to be in a video game, so I'm really just jealous of these guys, but whatever.
And me being me, I have assembled this team to take on an entire Premier League season. Only great things will happen. So it's time to meet the participants in the worst Best 11. At goalkeeper, 36-year-old Estonian, Kaido Utsik. Check out that 1 overall passing, 3 overall one-on-ones, and 4 overall reflexes with a blinding 1 pace and 1 balance. On the bright side, though, he is 6'5", 190 pounds, and he has an aerial reach of 12 and a jumping reach of 14, so he actually has Premier League size. At left back, the 21-year-old from the Dominican Republic, Kelly Hiron. Kelly Hiron is undone by the fact that he only has 2 positioning, 3 technique, and 4 work rate. He also needs LASIK surgery because his vision is 1. Introducing our first center back, a 30-year-old from Australia, it's Jack Clare. Now, Jack Clare is actually not a bad athlete. He has 10 pace and 11 acceleration. He has also a pretty decent left foot. He's 6'2", 171 pounds, so he's got good Premier League size. He's just really bad at anything having to do with the actual ball. The other center back, Julio Cesar Morel. This guy actually plays in the same team as the left back Hiron, a club called Del Este in the Dominican Republic League. He's only 22 years old, and he suffers from the same issue that Claire has. He's just basically a good athlete that seemingly has never seen a ball before. His concentration is 1, which I think is just the classification for ADHD. At right back, Harry Thomas from Wales, the 24-year-old making an appearance, our first man from the British Isles. He's actually got great size. He's 6'3", 174 pounds, playing right back. He just has absolutely no technical ability whatsoever. His technique is 1, and for a fullback, where work rate is important, his is 2. And despite his great size, his heading is 1, so he can't really do anything with it, obviously. Now to the midfield in this beautiful 4-4-2, Kwan Kai Chung, a 26-year-old from Hong Kong. Now, Kwan Kai Chung actually has decent athleticism, but he doesn't really have any decent relationship with the ball. He has 1 tackling, 3 first touch, 1 dribbling, 6 vision on top of 3 passing means he might be able to make a play, and he does have 11 aggression, so, he can get stuck in, I guess. The other midfielder from Estonia at 21 years old, Romet Roger Ruger, I think. I don't know. Maybe this is just a typo where they repeated his name twice. I have no idea. It kind of looks like it. That or it's an awesome name. But this Estonian dude doesn't have the prerequisite athleticism. He makes up for it by actually being able to handle the ball a little bit. Pretty solid defender with 6 marking and 8 tackling by the standards we've set in this team. He's also 6'4" and left-footed, so he offers a couple of different things that can maybe help this team, I don't know, get a goal. Now to the wings, and that brings us to right wing, Tom Davies. He has 15 jumping reach. He's 6'5", 182 pounds, but he's just bad. That's kind of the whole point here. 4 crossing, 3 dribbling, 5 finishing, 6 first touch, but he moves pretty well. I mean, he has 1 balance, which is really hard to manage when you're 6'5", but he moves pretty well. At left wing, we have 27-year-old Australian Dylan James Kearney. This guy's more of an inverted winger. He really cuts it in on his right foot. He's got pretty decent pace, and he's also 6'2". None of these guys are tiny. This is going to be a pretty big team. Don't really have the jumping reach, though, in spite of their size. A lot of 1s here in the technical department, but, who needs long shots or dribbling when you're playing on the wing or finishing or positioning or composure or anything or balance? None of these guys have any balance. We need to put a balance beam in the freaking training sessions to get these guys together. And at striker, the 25-year-old Filipino Mohamed Abdallah. Abdallah's got a whopping 1 jumping reach. He is 5'6", 134 pounds, so not the big meaty target forward you would expect to round out this group. He has, no pace really either. It just 7, but he has 2 good feet, and he has 12 finishing. So if any anybody's going to score a goal on this team, it might be a poaching strike from Mohamed Abdallah. And he does have 10 heading, so if like everybody else on both teams misses the ball and it happens to fall to him, he's got a good shot at it. But seriously, his lack of physical gifts is kind of covered up by a real striker's ability to put the ball away, at least at a lower league sense. Now that we've met our cast of players, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm doing a podcast with a guy named Julian Gressel who plays in Inter Miami with Messi. We talk about what it's like to play with Messi and stuff, and there's going to be more about that at the end of this video. If you want to check it out, there is a link at the top of the description. We just started a YouTube channel since we've kind of just gotten rolling with it, but it is very cool. It's called Player Manager. Get it? Because I'm the manager. Kind of, technically, sort of. I don't know why he invited me to do it. I don't really know what I'm doing. But anyways, you imagine that we probably needed more than 11 players to get through a Premier League season. So we went out and found 14 other guys that are also kind of the next best thing. Everybody from 43-year-old Welsh goalkeeper Stephen Tandy to 21-year-old Czech left back Vaclav Slavík, or this other left back who literally can only play left wing back. He can't play anywhere else. His name's Ramin Ismailov. He's listed for loan if anybody's interested. Or the youngest player on this list, Mark Villafuerte, all the way down to Singaporean striker Fardly Ismail, who also has one jumping reach and one balance to boot. It's an incredibly talented cast of characters we've assembled, basically the Avengers, and it's time to see what they're capable of against the best league in the world according to the European coefficient thing. In order to insert them into the Premier League, we have taken over Southampton and replaced all of their players with the worst players in the world. We did, of course, give minor consideration to just keeping the roster as is, because there probably wouldn't be too much of a difference in terms of results based off what we've seen so far. Sorry, Southampton. But we decided to swap in these guys instead. We did, however, leave Russell Martin in place to coach these boys up however he sees fit. So the team's obviously not allowed to make any transfers. The squad is made eligible for registration. All right, August 30th, let's see how they're doing. All right. A stirring 11-0 defeat against Brighton, a crisp 12-0 loss at home against Crystal Palace, and a 15-0 loss at Fulham. Now let's just take a look what something like that looks like. 46 shots to 1. They had a shot. 11.7 XG. Time to watch the goals. Got to be studious about this.
What did you say to the kid? It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
So I guess that's basically what happens when the best Sunday League players you've ever seen are playing against an actual Premier League team. Screw trying to get a result. I just want to know if they're going to be able to score a goal. Maybe the League Cup offers an opportunity to get a result. I don't know. Probably not a good indication that we've got a couple of injuries to Fardly Ismail and the goalkeeper Stephen Tandy, and Tom Davies is suspended, and Jack Clare is, he's injured as well. That's not, well, they lost to Plymouth 9-0, so then 14-0, 12-0, 14. Okay, new challenge. Will they be able to get a Premier League match within 10 goals? Because they have not managed to do that yet. Come on, Southampton. By the end of October, the answer is no. But they did manage to lose away to Arsenal 24-0 and then lose at home to Everton 21-0. Fortunately, they have a way easier November coming up with Manchester United, Tottenham, and Liverpool. I really think this is the point when the season starts to turn around. I mean, it has to. The talent is there. Look at the match ratings. Ramit Ruger, he scored an own goal and had a 4.4. Kaido Uchik, the goalkeeper, had a 7.5, though. That's pretty sweet. And this, well, okay, look, in the match against Arsenal, they had 2 red cards. I mean, what, seriously? Now that's just not fair. That's not fair. In that November, we would not get our result within 10 goals. Actually, 13-0, 13-0, 17-0. And at the start of December, it was 12-0 against Nottingham Forest. But then... Against Brentford, our brave heroes from Sunday leagues across the world only lost 9-0. And that was with Vujal Tahirov being sent off. He was probably thrown out for being too fit. Am I right, guys? Seriously. Look at that, 18 natural fitness. In the following match, they managed to lose just 5-0, with one of those goals coming in the 94th minute, which means up until stoppage time, It was 4-0 at home against Bournemouth, which is respectable. In fact, real-life Southampton gave up only one less goal than that in those first 90 minutes. I know I'm stretching here, I'm just saying. But it wouldn't take too long for them to return to form against Newcastle with a first-minute red card for Mark Villafuerte and a 24-0 loss at Newcastle. But the team was legitimately getting better with a road loss against Wolves of just 8-0 and a road loss against Crystal Palace of just 9-0. If you go into the 9-0, I mean, that's only 7 XG allowed. They got really unlucky to give up 9 goals, obviously. But the Cups were over. They lost to Luton Town away 16-0 in their first FA Cup tie. Yeah. The final pursuit for this glorious team then was to score one singular goal all season. I don't believe. But by the end of March, it was looking bleak. Despite cooking up a 5-0 loss at home against freaking Chelsea, which I don't know how many chances Nicholas Jackson missed in this match, but it must have been a lot. And a 6-0 loss away against Everton, the results clearly getting better. 9-0 at Manchester City with a 31st minute red card for Vucel Tahirov, which what the hell is Vucel Tahirov doing? Stop! There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches left for them to score a goal in. So rub your lucky pennies. Here we go. Tottenham 15-0. Liverpool 18-0. Nottingham Forest 9-0. Brentford 11-0. Bournemouth 13-0. Come on, boys. 1 goal. Come on. Newcastle 11-0. Leicester 10-0. Wolves, the final match of the season, 12-0. No! They lost every match with a goal difference of minus 471. But that doesn't mean they didn't lead the league in something. Because they did lead the league in red cards with 9. They also led the league in expected goals against with 299.66. Dodged it. Under 300, just like we said at the beginning of the season, boys. Great job. Excellent work. Just for reference, Leicester is second on that list with 64.67. So the team conceded a whopping 61 corners and a stunning 9 direct free kicks, as well as 20 direct or indirect free kicks. I can read. But the team never gave up, because there were actually 2 things that this team was able to lead the Premier League in that aren't necessarily a negative. They led the league in blocks with a massive 325. They never quit. They were grinding it out. That was over 100 more blocks than the next closest team, and they had 1,271 clearances from the defensive zone. These boys battled and fought and battled and fought. And they didn't have no shots. There were 4 different players on this team that attempted at least 3 shots. Tom Davies, Tommy Bell, Fardley Ismail, and Mark Villafuerte. I've heard he's one for the future, just 19 years old. But 3 of those guys are now listed for transfer at $0. So if anybody's interested, these guys do have 3 Premier League shots. Tommy Bell has 2 shots on target. Sadly, though, the legendary Vucel Tahirov has decided to call it a career, as he will be retiring at the end of the season after successfully torpedoing the entire season with multiple red cards. Thank you for your service, fitness god. Part of me wants to keep simming seasons until they score a single goal. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. I would also love to get all of these players together and have them play an actual real match so we can see how good they are in actuality. But apparently to make that amount of money, I need to knock off Lunchables or something. So maybe I'll give that a try. In the meantime, here's a look at my podcast with Julian Gressel. If you enjoyed it, it's at the top of the description. And a huge thank you to Cody for helping me put together this database. His blog is in the description as well. It's fantastic. Welcome to the Player Manager Podcast. I'm Zealand Shannon. The new podcast featuring a player who assisted Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez.
I am Julian Gressel.
And a guy who plays video games for a living, but I do them well. Champions!
But he actually told me in English, covering his mouth, he goes, "Good English, no?" Has a huge smile on his face.
So we've got Matt Turner with us. It's Walker Zimmerman. What's the hair routine?
Probably not going to believe it, but I only put shampoo in my hair.
Oh, come on. Okay, now we're going to play all these European guys. 0 MLS minutes. Do we need to go back to calling up a half MLS team, get you out there again?
He kept saying, "Have fun out there, enjoy it." I was like, you sure you want me to enjoy it? You sure you want me to have fun?
How did you end up wearing an "I'm sorry" Gressel t-shirt? What's it like to have this dude who is essentially Messi's shadow and also maybe the toughest dude alive?
He's a chill guy. He's fun. You can joke with him a little bit. Maybe one day I'll have the courage to kind of tackle him from behind and just, see what happens.
The new Player Manager Podcast. Fuck me. Hey, editor, you can leave that in. I think that'll be good.